Good day, everyone. I'm Josamaris Esboyose, and today I'm going to discuss about steel frame. It is under the Chapter 3, Building Construction. So here are the table of contents of my discussion. It includes steel frame, the different types of structural steel framing system, where steel frame structures are used, and also the advantages and disadvantages of steel frame structure. But first, let's talk about steel frame. So what is steel frame? Steel frame is a building technique that has skeleton frame of vertical steel columns and horizontal L-beams, which is tinatayo siya sa mga rectangular grid to support floors, roof, and walls of the building that is attached to a frame. The important features of steel framing are its flexibility, elasticity, or ductility. It can bend without cracking, as a steel building can flex when it is pushed to one side by, say, wind or an earthquake. This property allows steel buildings to bend out of shape or deform, thus giving warning to inhabitants to escape. So sabi din dito that failure in steel frames is not sudden, as steel structure rarely collapses. So by the development of steel frame, nagiging posible yung tinatawag na skyscraper. So we all know that a skyscraper is a tall, continuously habitable building having multiple floors. So, 'di ba, sa ibang bansa, it is very common to see skyscrapers, lalong-lalo na sa mga first world countries. Dito naman sa Philippines, I think rare rarely lang nakikita yung mga skyscrapers. However, one important property of steel is that it quickly loses its strength in a fire. So, nagre-reduce or agad-agad nawawala yung strength ng steel kapag na-expose siya sa fire. At 500 degrees Celsius or 930 degrees Fahrenheit, mild steel can lose almost half its strength. So, ito yung nangyari sa World Trade Towers in 2001. So I did my research and I found out that on September 11, 2001, a Boeing 767 jet flew into the North Tower of the World Trade Center or WTC in Lower Manhattan. So after that, 8 minutes later, another plane crashed into the South Tower. So within 2 hours, both towers had collapsed. So gaya na sabi ko kanina na isa sa importanteng property ng steel is nagre-reduce or nawawalan siya ng strength when it is exposed to fire. Therefore, steel in buildings must be protected from fire or high temperature. This is usually done by wrapping it with boards or spray on material called fire protection. So, where steel frame structures are used? So, saan nga ba ginagamit itong steel frame structures? So, we have four here. First one is the high-rise buildings. It's because of its strength, low weight, and speed of construction. And the second one is industrial and warehouse buildings because of its ability to create large span spaces at low cost. And the third one is the residential buildings in a technique called light gauge steel construction. And of course, the temporary structures, as these are quick to set up and remove. So, as I have mentioned a while ago, these are the different buildings that I have said and explained. So the first one is the high-rise buildings. Minsan tinatawag siyang tower block, apartment tower, residential tower, or office tower. Usually, ito yung mga matataas na gusali, which is kabaliktaran ng mga low-rise buildings. And the second one is the industrial buildings. It includes buildings used directly in the production of power, the manufacture of products, yung mga mining of raw materials, storage of textiles. So those are the examples. Ang warehouse buildings naman, it is a building for storing goods. So it is usually used by manufacturers, importers, exporters, and they are usually large plain building in industrial parks on the outskirts of cities, towns, or villages. And of course, the residential building. A residential building is a building containing separate residences where a person may live or regularly stay. So, ang mga examples ito is condominiums or apartments. And yung last picture naman, ito yung temporary structures. So, dito may dalawa which is the formwork at scaffolding. So, yung formwork, it is a temporary structure which is ginagamit siya sa pagbuo ng concrete. Ang scaffolding naman, it is an elevated platform that supports construction workers, the materials, and etc. So now let's proceed to different types of structural steel framing system. So may tatlong types of structural steel framing system, which are the skeleton steel framing, the wall-bearing steel framing system, and the last one is the long span steel framing. So let's discuss first the skeleton steel framing system. A skeleton frame refers to a structure commonly used for multi-story building construction. It incorporates a system or network of connecting beams and columns which support the building's exterior and interior walls and floors and transmits the loads to the foundations. So around the perimeter of the structure, builders install spandrel beams to support the masonry walls. So yung spandrel beam, it is the exterior beam that stretches horizontally from one column to another column. So tinatawag din ito siyang edge beam. So here is an example of skeleton steel framing system. Figure illustrate various types of bolted connection including flexible and plate, pin plate, and double angle cleat. So in this figure, it shows the different bolt connection arrangement used to connect beams to columns. At ito namang isa, the plan view of skeleton framing. So usually, ito talaga sa mga multi-story buildings, matataas, ginagamit talaga itong skeleton framing. Next one is the wall-bearing steel framing system. So in a wall-bearing steel framing structure, building wall, whether it is interior or exterior, is used to carry the end of structural members that support floor or roof loads. So end to end siya. Wall bearing should be adequately strong to not only be able to carry vertical reactions, but also to resist any imposed horizontal loads. So, dapat may excess pa to resist the horizontal loads. Kasi kaya niya namang dalhin yung vertical reactions, but the horizontal loads dapat may excess pa dun. So the wall bearing frame method, it is a construction technique where masonry walls are built inside and around the perimeter of a building. Steel members such as beams are then attached to these walls using anchor bolts and steel plates for support. So, yun yung kailangang gawin or ilagay. So, itong mga walls na to is nilalagyan siya ng mga anchor bolts and steel plates for support. The design and construction of this framing system depend on factor like the distance between supports or the span distance and the amount of weight the structure needs to bear or load intensity. A further application of wall bearing system application is the utilization of steel beams known as lintels over wall openings like doors and windows. So yung first pick, this one is using steel beam to support masonry lintels. So yan o, may mga parts siya. May exterior angle, may interior angle, and the second one naman is the end of steel beam, which support floor loads. It is installed on walls. Intermediary support applied to support the beam because the span is large. So nakikita nyo naman, di ba, that the span here is sobrang laki. So ito yung um, isa sa actual application of wall bearing framing structure. And the last one is the using steel beam to support masonry lintels. So ito na yung kanina. Okay, and then the last one is the long span steel framing. Long span steel framing is considered when large clearance is required and such long spanning cannot be realized using steel beams and columns. So here is the table for long span steel framing types, their applications, and various configurations. I will discuss first the trusses. Trusses are structural elements known for their ability to span longer distances due to their greater depth, which provides rigidity against bending. So when we say rigidity or rigid, it is unable to bend or not flexible. Different types of trusses are utilized in long span construction, including rat trusses, fink trusses, Warren trusses, bowstring trusses, uh, Verendil trusses, and scissors trusses. Each type offers specific advantages, and it is selected based on factors such as span length, load requirements, and architectural considerations. So, yung mga nabanggit ko na mga trusses, they are different with each other and nakadepende yon sa paggagamitan. And we also have the girders. Girders are deep steel beams designed to span long distances in construction projects. Hybrid and strap girders are examples that span lengthwise across structures and connect to the main girders to provide additional support and reinforcement. These girders plays a crucial role in ensuring the structural integrity and stability of building and other infrastructures. So, napaka-importante ng girders because parang additional support siya sa buildings or mga infrastructures. And we also have arches. Arches can be constructed in various configurations, including open web or solid, and it can be categorized as fixed or three-hinge or two-hinge. Nakadepende siya sa design. Each type of arch offers specific advantages and is selected based on the requirements of the particular project. It ensures optimal performance, and durability in different applications. May mga names din itong arches, katulad ng ng trusses. And also the rigid frames. Rigid frames are engineered to endure shear forces and bending moments. Unlike other frame types, rigid frames are constructed as continuous systems throughout their entire height and length. So, continuous, patuloy, without the presence of pins and hinges at midspans and grounds. These design characteristics enhances their structural stability and resistance to deformation, making them suitable for applications where robustness and structural integrity are paramount, such as in large-scale buildings and industrial structures. So mostly, ginagamit siya sa mga malalaking buildings and lalong-lalo na sa mga industrial structures, katulad ng mga nabanggit ko kanina. So I have here different figures. Nandito yung trusses, arches, and rigid frame. So itong nasa taas, the different types of trusses used in steel structure construction. So ito, this is Warren truss. Ito, Pratt truss to. This one naman is string truss. And the last one, ito is the bowstring truss. So very common. Nakikita lang yung iba dito. Nakikita lang natin sa paligid yung iba dito. Okay, and then we also have types of arches used for steel structure construction. We have here two hinge arch, and then this one is the three hinge arch. Ito naman is the single span rigid frame. So now let's talk about advantages of steel frame structure. So we have 6 here. The first one is steel is lighter than woods. If you weigh a 2x4 of wood and a 2x4 of steel, the steel will weigh more as the result of its density. So, sa density lang sila nag-aaway. Steel is lighter than wood, which not only reduces labor during construction, but also lowers materials shipping cost. Additionally, the lighter weight of steel can simplify the design of a building's foundation and other structural support systems. It leads to further cost savings for the project. And also, you can build faster with steel. Building with steel offers numerous advantages, especially in today's high-tech era where clients prioritize projects that are completed under budget and ahead of schedule. So, 'di ba, sino ba naman yung ayaw ayaw na mabilis yung trabaho, na mabilis matapos yung infrastructure na pinapagawa? We all want that, 'di ba? Fast-track projects can be challenging for architectures and construction crews due to the risk of taking shortcuts. So, yung ibang clients takot sila na mabilis magtrabaho yung iba kasi baka dinadaan lang sa shortcut and hindi pulido yung pagkagagawa ng structures, which may compromise safety and result in subpar finished products. However, steel construction changes this narrative by providing a solution that ensures efficiency without sacrificing quality or safety standards. And of course, we have the save money with steel. So, mas makalas ka dito, mas makamura ka. So, number one, steel can be recycled. Number two, steel is so durable and it requires so little maintenance. It is a more economic choice for building owners. So, lalo na yung mga high-rise buildings, usually ito yung ginagamit nila, steel. Number three, innovation and steel production combined with greater competition to meet rising steel demands has brought steel prices lower than they've been in 20 years. So, due to high demands, mas nagabarato ang steel. And we also have, due to a steel structure's almost unrivaled ability to withstand high winds, heavy snow loads, fire and seismic activities, insurance companies often offer lower premiums on policies underwritten for metal buildings. So, konti na lang yung sinisingil or gina-offer ng mga insurance companies. And we also have faster construction times means fewer interest payments to the lender. So, di ba, mas okay kapag yung interest is mababa lang. So, mas nakaka-save ka and at the same time, safety yung infrastructure mo. So we have steel is incredibly versatile. Architects and designers like steel's ability to let their artistic imaginations run wild, while still having the ability to design and construct a building that is both safe and resilient. This same durability is also what allows for the versatile design of large, clear span buildings such as airplane hangars, warehouses, agricultural buildings, and indoor arenas. So, steel's versatility extends beyond commercial construction into the residential sector as well. Furthermore, steel and metal siding and roofing materials offer durability and longevity that surpass their wood counterparts. It provides homeowners with more durable and long-lasting options for their homes. And the fifth advantage is steel and wood hybridization. So hybridization in residential construction combines the versatility and durability of steel with the traditional warmth of wood. So halo, mix na yung which is the wood and the steel. So may mga insulatory properties of wood din kasi na need a pair for steel. This approach allows homeowners to benefit from the strengths of both materials. It offers a balanced solution that meets aesthetic preferences and structural requirements. And of course, steel is environmentally friendly. Steel is made from recycled materials and can be recycled at the end of its lifespan. So at that point, at that moment na mag-end yung life ng steel is nare-recycle pa rin siya. One of the many reasons why it can earn builders points toward major green building certification programs. So according to the SRI or Steel Recycling Institute, 80 million tons of steel are recycled each year, making it the world's most recycled product. Since 1990, the steel industry has reduced energy intensity per ton of steel produced by 28% and cobalt emissions by 35% per ton of steel shipped. So, reductions in energy use and cobalt emissions are rapidly reaching the limits defined by the law of physics. Steel buildings can be environmentally friendly due to their energy efficiency. Precise connections between prefabricated steel parts create airtight structures when adequately insulated. Steel roof panels support solar arrays, and cool metal roofing products reduce solar heat gain, resulting in significant energy savings. So those are the advantages of um, using steel. And since there are advantages of steel frame structure, there are also disadvantages of steel frame structure. So I have 5 here. So first, maintenance cost of a steel structure is very high. Due to action of rust and steel, expensive paints are required to renew time to time so that resistance against severe conditions increases. And yeah, ginataya man di ba ang steel? So, if tayaon, need mag-repaint, and kung need mag-repaint, need magasto. Although, barato man ang steel frame structure, pero mahal ang maintenance niya kay daghan man pud og factors, 'di ba, nga makaapekto nganong need siya i-repaint ingana. And also, steel has very small resistance against fire as compared to concrete, almost from 60 degrees to 70 degrees Celsius, half of steel strength reduced. So, yung concrete, kapag nasunog, minsan or usually pinapagamit pa. Nakadepende kasi sa mga engineers yan kung ipapagamit pa nila. So, yung steel naman, kapag expose siya sa fire, is nag-reduce talaga or nagbaba talaga yung strength ng steel. And also, steel cannot be molded in any direction you want. It can only be used in forms in which sections originally exist. So yun yung mga trusses, mga arch, and mga rigid frames. Dili ka pwede mong pataka-taka lang og any shapes you want. Kay dili man siya ma-mold, dili siya ma-bend. And also, if steel loses its ductility property, then chances of brittle fractures increase. So, brittle refers to a material or substance that is prone to breaking or fracturing without significant deformation when subjected to stress or force. So, kapag nawala yung ductility property ng steel, dako og chance nga magka-brittle siya, na maghinay-hinay gud siya og ka ka-crack or siguro mag-collapse ingana. And the fifth one is, if there are very large variations in tensile strength, then this leads steel to more tension, due to which steel tensile properties graph falls down. So that's all for today. Thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you had learned something, and please excuse my voice for today's lesson. That's all. Thank you and God bless.